Good morning, dear students. I hope you all are fine at your homes and enjoying the lockdown and after that the unlock period with too much fun with the family and little bit study also. Today, as you can see on your screen, we are here with a new lesson, that is Taro's Reward. This lesson is taken from your Honeysuckle book and it is the third lesson of your book. As you can see on your screen, this is the third one. Okay, at first we will try to understand the title as we always do. Taro's Reward. Reward means something we get after doing the hard work. It is a pleasant thing which we get after doing the hard work, that is called reward. Means Taro's reward means reward of Taro. So what reward Taro is getting in this story, we will try to find out. And it is, as you can see here, this is an Japanese story and it is also retold, means not the original one, it is retold by someone. The name is not given here. Is that clear? So before you read, there are some clues about the story. This is a story about a thoughtful and loving son. He works hard to fulfill his parents' wishes and gets some unexpected help. This lesson will also make us learn that if we will do hard work, if we will help our parent with lots of hard work, the God will definitely help us one day. So this is the moral of the story. Now we are going to read the lesson. There are paragraphs, you can see that, and paragraph numbers are also given. In the first one, you can see there are some characters in this picture. This one is Taro and this one is his father. Okay, we are reading the first paragraph. A young woodcutter named Taro lived with his family, means mother and father, on a lonely hillside. All day long he chopped wood in the forest. Though he worked very hard, he earned very little money. This made him sad, for he was thoughtful son and wanted to give his old parents everything they needed. In this paragraph, we came to know that there is a character in the story whose name is Taro. This is his father and this is his mother. Means they all are three in their family and they used to live near a lonely hillside. And this character, this is Taro, he used to do the work of chopping woods. Chopping means, chopped means cut down the woods into small pieces. Chopped means cut down into pieces. Is that clear? So he used to do the work of a chopper. Chopper means a person who cut down the woods. Is that clear? In Hindi, there is a word also, lakadhara, a person who cut the woods, who chop the woods. The Taro used to work very hard, but as you know that there is not too much money in the work of chopping the woods. He worked very hard, but he earned very little money. That is why he used to be sad for some time, because he is very thoughtful towards his parents and he is a very responsible kind of person. He wants to give every happiness to his family by working hard. Now the second one. One evening when Taro and his parents were sitting in a corner of their hut, a strong wind began to blow. It whistled through the cracks of the hut, and everyone felt very cold. Suddenly, Taro's father said, I wish I had a cup of shake. It would warm me and do my old heart good. So, what happened? One evening, all the three members were sitting in a corner of their hut, and suddenly a strong wind began to blow. So, what happens? It whistled through the cracks, means it was when the wind was moving through the cracks, through the gaps of the huts, it was whistling, means that the wind was very fast. That is why it was producing a sound of whistling when the wind was moving through the gaps, moving through the cracks. Suddenly, Taro's father was feeling very cold, and he said that if he would have a cup of shake. As you can see, the meaning of shake is also given here, this one. A popular Japanese drink which is basically used to make the body warm. Is that clear? So, when Taro's father was feeling very cold, he wished that if he could have a shake which would warm him and which would make his heart feel good. Is that clear? So, have you understood these two paragraphs? What happens? In the first paragraph, the whole family was introduced. In the second paragraph, when all of them were sitting in a corner of their hut, suddenly a strong cold wind blew, and his father was feeling very cold, and he was wishing that if he would have a cup of shake which would make him warm. This is a very simple and easy story. If you will read it properly, you can also learn it, and that is why it is the simplest one. It is the simplest one in your syllabus to understand. The third one, so what happens when his father was wishing that if he would have the shake which would make him warm. This made Taro sadder than ever, for the heart-warming drink called shake was very expensive. How do I earn more money? He asked himself. How do I get a little shake for my poor old father? He decided to work harder than before. As we have already studied about Taro, that he was very thoughtful and he was very sincere. So when he heard from his father that he needed a shake which would make him warm, so this thought of his father made him sadder than before, and he was thinking that how he can buy this shake because it was very expensive to buy from the market. So he was thinking that what are the ways by which he can get more money so he can buy that shake for his father. So he decided to work harder than he was already doing. Now the next one, paragraph number 4. Next morning, Taro jumped out of bed earlier than usual and made his way to the forest. He chopped and cut as the sun climbed, and soon he was so warm that he had to take off his jacket. His mouth was dry and his face was wet with sweat. My poor old father, he thought, if only he was as warm as I. So what happened? Next morning, Taro got up early in the morning as he usually do, but this morning he left his bed earlier than he used to do. Is that clear? And he went to the forest and he chopped and cut wood there since morning to evening, and when he did that work for a long time, it make his body warm, and he take off his jacket which was he wearing, and his mouth was dry, and his face was wet and sweat. Means he worked very hard whole day, that is why his body was warm and his mouth was dry, his face was wet with sweat. And he was thinking about his old father, that if only he was as warm as I. He was thinking that I have worked for a whole day and I am feeling very warm this time. If the same condition be would be with my father, then he would be very happy. Means he was also wishing that if his father would also be so warm like him. So what happens next? And with that he began to chop even faster, thinking of the extra money he must earn to buy the shake to warm the old man's bones. So when he was thinking that if the hotness his father would get, he has to work harder and harder and harder. That is why he was working very fast, because he wanted to earn that extra money by which he can by which he can buy the shake for his father. Now paragraph number 5. Then suddenly Taro stopped chopping. What was that sound he heard? Could it be possibly rushing water? Taro could not remember ever seeing or hearing rushing streams in that part of the forest. He was thirsty. The axe dropped out of his hand and he ran in the direction of the sound. So what happens when he was working very fastly? Suddenly he heard some sounds and he rushed towards this place from where he was getting the sound of rushing the stream of water. So the axe also dropped out from his hand and he went to the direction of that water stream, because he was very thirsty and he was working whole day long. Now paragraph number 6. Taro saw a beautiful little waterfall hidden behind a rock. Kneeling at his place where the water flowed quietly, he cupped a little in his hand and put it to his lips. Was it water or was it shake? He tasted it again and again, and always it was the delicious shake instead of cold water. So that is the strange thing he faced there while he was thinking that there is a water stream. Before that, he had never seen that water stream in that area, but this time when he heard the sound of water stream, he rushed towards that water stream, and when he went there, he knelt down. Knelt down means becoming down on the knees. Is that clear? So while he was kneeling, he cupped his hand, means he joined together his hands to make it like a cup and sip that water, and he put that water on his lips. And when he tasted, is that clear? When he tasted that water, that time he was thinking that was that water or was that shake? Is that clear? Shake we have already discussed that it is a Japanese word which means it is a kind of mixture of things which is used to make the body warm. So when he tasted that water, he was confused that whether it was water or whether it was shake. He tasted it again and again, and it was a delicious shake in place of water. So can you imagine that thing, that when he reached near to a stream, that was not water, That was a shake. As you can see here in the picture, Taro has cupped his hand like this one to drink the water, and when he tasted that, it was a delicious shake. Now we will move to the next. Taro quickly filled the pitcher he had with him and hurried home. The old man was delighted with the shake. After only one swallow of the liquid, he stopped shivering and did a little dance in the middle of the floor. So what happens? Taro quickly filled the pitcher. Pitcher, as you can see here, this pot is known as pitcher. A pot usually made of mud. Is that clear? So when he tasted that water, basically it was not the water, it was shake. So he decided to take that delicious shake for his father. So he hurriedly filled that pitcher, and after that he went to his home and he gave that water to his father. His father was very much delighted after sipping that shake, and he stopped shivering. Shivering, do you know? Shivering basically when there will be a cold season, winter season, when we get lots of cold and we get shiver with the cold. Shiver means in Hindi we can say kaapna ya ठिठुरना we can say. Is that clear? So his father stopped shivering, and he also danced in the floor. So that was that was the happiest moment for the Taro. Paragraph number 8. That afternoon, a neighbor stopped by for a visit. Taro's father politely offered her a cup of shake. The lady drank it greedily and thanked the old man. Then Taro told her the story of magic waterfall. Thanking them for the delicious drink, she left in hurry. By nightfall, she had spread the story throughout the whole village. So what happens that afternoon? A neighbor stopped near the house of Taro, and Taro's father offered her a cup of shake. That lady, that neighbor, drank it very greedily, and she also thanked Taro's father, that old man. And Taro, as we know, he was very gentle and he was very innocent. So he told all the story about the magic waterfall to the lady, to his neighbor. So what happens? When that lady reached to the village, and till the next nightfall, means till the next day, the story of that magic waterfall was spread all over the village. Paragraph number 9. That evening there was a long procession of visitors to the woodcutter's house. Each man heard the story of the waterfall and took a sip of shake. In less than an hour, the pitcher was empty. When the villagers heard about the story of that magical mountain or the magical waterfall near the mountain, too many villagers reached to the house of Taro, and everyone was hearing the story about the waterfall, and they were sipping the shake. After some time, the pitcher was empty. Paragraph number 10. Next morning, Taro started for work even earlier than the morning before. He carried with him the largest pitcher he owned, for he intended first of all to go to the waterfall. When he reached it, he found to his great surprise all his neighbors there. They were carrying pitchers, jars, buckets, anything they could find to hold the magic shake. Then one villager knelt and held his mouth under the waterfall to drink. He drank again and then shouted angrily, "Water? nothing but water. Others also tried, but there was no shake, only cold water. So next morning, Taro thought that he would get up earlier than the day before he has done, and he thought that he will take the largest pitcher, the largest pot, and he will go to the magical waterfall. So what happens when he reached there? He saw that too many villagers were already there, and they were also carrying the biggest pitchers, jars and buckets and anything they can hold which can hold the magic shake. Means the spread of the magical waterfall was all over in the village. Everyone knows about the story of magical waterfall. That is why the villagers reached the place before Taro reached there. When Taro reached there, he saw that too many villagers are there near the waterfall, and one of the villager knelt means put down on the knees and held his mouth under the waterfall to drink. Means he wanted to taste that shake, and he drank again and again and shouted very angrily that water, nothing but water. When that villager tasted that magical waterfall, he said that in very angrily voice that it is just a water, not a shake. So other villagers also tried that, and they also tasted that it was a cold water only, not any shake. Now as you can see the scene there are too many villagers, there are too many pots, pitchers are there. All of them have heard the story of magical waterfall. That is why all of have come there to fill their pitchers with the magical shake. Is that clear? Now we will move to the paragraph number 7. We have been tricked, shouted the villagers. Where is Taro? Let us drown him in this waterfall. But Taro had been wise enough to slip behind a rock. When he saw how things were going, he was nowhere to be found. The villagers, as Taro told him that there is a magical fountain where he got the shake. Villager next day reached there, but when they tasted the water, they found that it was just a water, not the shake. So they thought that Taro has deceived them, Taro has tricked them, and they were very angry with the Taro. They were thinking that Taro lied with them. So all of them were in angry form. They were very angry, and they wanted to meet Taro this time, and they wanted to tell him that why did you lied. But Taro was very wise, and he slipped behind the rock there, as you can see here, and he stayed there for a long time, and he was nowhere to be found. Means he slipped away from that place. That is why the villagers were unable to catch him. Now paragraph number 12. Muttering their anger and disappointment, the villagers left the place one by one. Taro came out from his hiding place. Was it true? He wondered. Was the shake a dream? Once more he caught a little liquid in his hand and put it to his lips. It was the same fine shake. To the thoughtful son, the magic waterfall gave the delicious shake. To everyone else, it gave only cold water. So muttering, as you can see here, that is the meaning of muttering, speaking unclearly, speaking very slowly and unclearly. So all the villagers were muttering in disappointment and in anger, and after some time they left that magical waterfall one by one. When all the villagers left the waterfall, Taro again came here near the waterfall, and he was thinking that was it true, and it was a wonder that, or we were only dreaming that it was a shake. So what happens? He decided to take that water again. Once more, he caught a little liquid in his hand and put it to his lips. But when he tasted that water, and he came to know that it was the same fine shake which he got earlier, which he got one day before. Means when he tasted that, it was shake, but when the villagers tasted that, it was only water. So there is a line, this one: to the thoughtful son, the magic waterfall gave the delicious shake, but to the everyone it gives only cold water. Means that if a person is very thoughtful, if a person is responsible, innocent and hard worker, our nature will definitely provide us the reward of hard working, reward of innocence, reward of thoughtfulness. And the villagers were not hard worker there, that is why they only got the water, not the shake. Now the last paragraph. The story of Taro and his magic waterfall reached to the Emperor of Japan. He sent for his young woodcutter and rewarded him with 20 pieces of gold for having been so good and kind. Then he named the most beautiful mountain in the city after Taro. This, said the emperor, was to encourage all children to honor and obey their parents. In the previous paragraph, we came to know that if we are hard worker, if we are innocent, if we are thoughtful, and if we help our parents by doing hard work, then our nature will provide us the rewards. That is the same thing which was happened with Taro. So the news of that magic waterfall also reached to the Emperor of Japan, and the emperor called him in his palace and he gifted Taro 20 pieces of gold for having so good and kind, because Taro was a kind, innocent and good and thoughtful person. That is why the king thought that he should be rewarded. So the emperor of the Japan gifted him 20 pieces of gold, and after that a strange thing happened, that he named that mountain with the name of Taro. Means after that, that mountain was called Taro. Is that clear? As we name human beings, like like my name is Dinesh, my parents named me Dinesh, and there are too many students also, your parents also named your name. That is the same thing was happened when the emperor named that mountain with the name of Taro. So that was happened because the emperor wanted to encourage all the children to obey their parents and to do hard work and to be kind and to be thoughtful. The emperor wanted everyone to be very thoughtful, to be honest and to be kind. That is why he rewarded Taro, and he also named that mountain with the name of Taro. So that is the explanation of the lesson. In the next video, we will discuss the question answers.